Well, I recently took this photo, which had the sun was obscuring where the clouds was obscuring the sun in a unique way, where I had to pull over. I was driving my bike and I had to pull over and just grab a photo with my cell phone. And the other photos that I took had the rays of the sun breaking through the cloud, where the surface of the cloud shattered the light, as you sometimes see in the mornings or in the evenings. And unfortunately, the photo that I liked the most, the one where I was at the correct position with the zoom and all of my settings, the way where the photo came out much better than the other ones, where the other ones had the rays, I had to improvise and fake having rays coming through here. So I want to quickly show how I do this, and if anybody ever watches this and has a better way to do this, please let me know. But I'm going to use this one as a reference just to give you an idea of what you're going to have to keep in mind. First of all, you're going to keep in mind or decide where the actual pivot of the sun will be. So to explain this very quickly and not to deviate from what I'm trying to accomplish here, this is quite important for it to look natural. So let's say you say that's the sun now, and with pivots I mean that center point. You will start all the points of your rays at that point, else it will look weird. If you just randomly in that area do something like this, and in that same area you do something that can have those two lines growing narrower together as it moves away from the source, it should never be able to meet each other. So you'll always start those points from the same exact location, just to keep it natural. So let's just remove these, and it's just clear. And all right, this is where you'll start. This is your photo, and you see how the rays are in this photo. So we're not gonna use those and be cheats. What I'm going to do is, whoa, hold the bus, buddy. I kind of missed the goal with that one, and I'm going to skip through all of this because this is not what this nugget is about. I'll make another one how to remove clouds. All right, so yeah, those rays are gone, and now we're going to put our own rays in. Now to ensure that the ray starts where the cloud ends, we're going to have to use the cloud as a reference for the selection of what we're going to delete from the lines. All right, that will make sense very soon. So at the beginning, let's just make a copy of the layer of where the actual photo is, and adjustment, brightness, contrast. Take the contrast way up, and depending on the photo, usually you have to take the brightness a little bit down, and then you submit that, go back to it, contrast, all right, something like that, so that we'll have much more definite variations between the cloud and the clear blue sky. So use the quick selection tool and have a brush of about that size, maybe a little bit smaller like that, and we'll just go and drag that area. I do not want that part of the selection, so we scroll in a bit, and by just reduce the brush size a little bit so that it can get into that nook, like so, and hold Alt and just drag in there. We'll reselect that now. Get rid of that. All of this where it's blue sky, where we should be able to start seeing the actual ray, where the clouds are not in front of the ray. Smaller and to go in there. I don't think so. Alright, that should be, no, here's another area. Alright. We should have actually started to draw the rays, but let's do one salon, and we're gonna make different sizes, but we're just going to duplicate the same thing over and over. So now we have to decide where's the sun. Judging from those rays, what I suggest is you can stroke a line through to it. From there to where the most light is, all right? And then do another one at, let's say you've got an idea of where those rays, there will always be a little bit of a sign of rays, so we do that. Alright, so we'll work from that. I'm going to leave these two lines in, but it's not part of the rays that I'll end up creating. So stroke, no stroke. The full color, you're going to sample from the most highlighted part of what you can see, alright? Then I'm just going to use layer from that point all the way out of the scene. Little ways up, click, come down and close that thing. No stroke and full with that color. Let's just use this one at the beginning so that you can see what will happen here. Now with that selection, we'll cut off that part of the cloud. Because we're going to work with a paid layer, it's going to be, we can't put it behind the cloud because the cloud is rasterized in the photo. So we're done with that as a shape now. You can just flatten that shape, add a new empty layer and just combine them and press delete. Now you'll see that bit is gone. Control D to deselect everything, take your eraser and just erase whatever is left behind. Okay? Bring that thing a little bit closer to the cloud, and then you take the eraser again and just check and verify that the weight, what do you call it now again? The hardness of the eraser is not too strict or too soft. And then just touch this. Nah, that's a little bit too much. Just touch that a little bit. Okay. See that little dark spot there? I don't like that. That won't be there if that ray was bursting through there. So let's just. We were looking at that other thing. Doink. All right. The same with this little bit won't be there. Okay. If this cloud would have allowed that, we wouldn't have seen that dark bit of sky. But we're going to add that, but that line will miss it in anyway. So let's do the next one. From that point, we'll do this one just a little bit embedded inside of the previous one. Bring it back. And there's what I was referring to earlier. That happens so easily. That should never happen. Okay. And again, we'll make that layer visible again, and with a quick selection tool, let's just drag that to the top so that we can actually see this thing. Oh, come on, this one. And we'll remove that bit of the selection so that beam is visible through that hole. Okay. Now, before we go on with the rest of them, let me just show you. Oh, we still need to do that selection. So it's that one. We'll just that one. We'll just select it. And no, man, we need to flatten this thing. Alright. I also don't like this. Let's see if we can use the healing brush tool, and what we'll do is we'll pinch a bit off of this. So there. It's because I've still got that damn ray selected and not the actual photo. Right, so like that, and just make this a little bit lighter. Alright, like so. Alright, so let's take the first ray, and we'll add a layer mask to it, and we'll use the gradient tool with the radiance set to linear radiant, linear gradient, and then we'll only start clicking, let's say, where the clouds end, all right, and we'll drag that just past the border of the screen, and we'll do this the other one as well. And let us start by, or continue by duplicating these things and just moving those vertex points along. Oh, we flattened them. So you'll find, you'll find your own rhythm. So you can do it in any fashion that you want. You can have one of them as a vectored stock next to it, or you can be like me and do everyone. Give it the care and the love that it needs. But what we need to do now actually is be careful and not make them all too the same, because the nature and the profile of the cloud is what dictates length, or the fruit distance between each of the rays that you'll actually see. And saying that, I think let's take this first one and just cut it a little bit so that it's not the same size as that one, just like that. So, alright, so need to flatten it, and then again select this cloud. There's a little bit of dark in there. Let's see, it's because that whole layer is not like feeding into the other one. Now what we can do is we can select all of them, make a copy of all of them, combine all of them, and move this out, because we'll be able to use them and still cut them along the profile, because they'll be long enough. And those will be the longest in the scene. These they'll become all the shorter the closer it gets to the cloud. Well, something I'd say, like, I just don't want this and that to look the same. So I'm thinking I'm going to cut off a piece of this and just use a copy of this. Oh my word, what did I do? Make a duplicate of the same one and just make a profile that doesn't look like that. This is something like that, right? combine them. So bring them in and make sure that so that the lines don't look weird. Just ensure that those points will be there where the pivot of this thing is. Doing it like that, and just come in like a little bit like that. See, that's not. When we like touch, let them touch. It should always be a little bit more tilted in the opposite direction, so that the space becomes further away you go. All right, like that. Let's take both of them, or all of these, and make another duplicate and merge them all. Now we've got everything together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale this in a bit. I'm going to bring it in so that it's more or less vertical. And now I'm going to mirror it. Alright. So that it doesn't look like the other one at all. Make another one, and this will be our last one. This one will be very much more opaque than the rest, so I don't think any Asperger's eyes will be able to see the pattern and go, this is fake. Alright, so I'm thinking you won't necessarily delete each one and select the cloud, and I did the first few to show you how to like do that. All right, but what we'll do now is we'll take all of these clouds and merge them, and now we'll select this thing. I'm using clouds and sun rays interchangeably here, it seems. I was selected on that other layer. It's weird sometimes. You know exactly what you're doing, and you can't seem to find what's causing the problem. Though obvious actually what the problem is, but you won't ever even imagine that was the problem. All of them as well now again. I think we need to make some of these radiate down from there. So those will be so opaque, and we'll use the eraser a bit. So alright, let's combine all of these now. Then you'll use a mask on it, the gradient tool. We'll just stroke that out a bit so you get something what you like. Add a layer, combine them to submit that mask, and do the same for another mask, and do the same for that, and apply by flattening it with another layer, and there I did that. I always do that. You don't want this to touch the water. Oh, that's a little bit too much. Like that. You see, those lines are not following a natural path that you would have expected. But that's all right. You know what to do to not let that happen. So let's maybe so that this doesn't look weird. Let's maybe make the amount of rays we allow in the scene a little bit less. Something like that. Just do that again. I'm going to put a little bit of a Gaussian blur on them. Like a little, oh no. First we need to make a copy of this. And then we take the back one. We bring the opacity down quite a bit. And then this one. I thought so. Blur. See? What effect this has? It's like when we disable this, it's very crisp. It's unnaturally crisp. There should be a little bit of a haze in there. So this is what this bit does. And now the total opacity you bring down a bit more. Oh no. This one. And that ends a little bit sharp. I'm going to use the brush tool, a big size, and just with quite a bit of feather do that. And there we go. Fake sun rays.